Welcome to the 2024 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Thank you for joining me on this Friday edition. Briefly, April 19th, 2024. We're made through another week. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest interpretation of financial news as it becomes available. We're not financial advisors, but we appreciate your support. Today we're going to be talking about the jobless claims numbers, the dollar, the U.S. dollar, and the hyperinflation and what that means for the worldwide economy here. As you know, the jobless claims have been going down. That's good news. Or they've been flatlining, I should say. But for the past several weeks, the data has shown that the first-time jobless claims or unemployment benefits haven't fluctuated at all, as in zero. So we've had weekly reports showing 212,000 initial claims, and that's raised a few eyebrows on Wall Street. A Labor Department spokesman noted that while the string of 212,000 prints on the jobless claims data is uncommon, it can be attributed to consistent jobs picture reflected in seasonal adjustments to the data. In other words, seasonal hiring for like the Christmas or Easter or whatever holiday that comes up. But you see these a lot on these storefronts and on different places. You see these now hiring signs in the fast food, hospitality, retail, transportation, and hospitals and utility sector. And they tell you to call or apply online, etc., etc. We've all seen these signs. And they claimed, a lot of them in media was first claiming that there was a job shortage, like people were not applying, they couldn't find a shortage of quality workers or qualified workers. That was the claim that was going on when the pandemic first started and when in the midst of the pandemic. And now that we're coming post-pandemic, or at least we think we're coming post-pandemic out of this economy or this recession or whatever that we was in 2020, we can see that those numbers continue to raise eyebrows on Wall Street and Main Street as people are finding out that, okay, yes, there's people that have one main job and 3 or 4 side hustles, or they may have they may have two part-time jobs to equal one full-time job in this economy that we're in the Western world, in the U.S., Canadian, and G8 nations. But as you can see, the U.S. unemployment initial jobless claims just from the Department of Labor, it's been flatlining. So they say 212 was the non-adjusted number, 212,000. The seasonally adjusted, not seasonally adjusted number is 209,000. So there's not much difference for it. So we know that the numbers have been played with, they're being doctored up and down. And remember, folks, this is just initial jobless claims. What about continuing jobless claims and those people who are not counted in the numbers, those who even given up looking for work, or those who have gotten a couple of part-time side hustles to make one full? Are they counted twice, or how does that work out? So that's something that we don't know, something that we're going to have to watch more closely. U.S. dollar in its number one status, according to Market Watch, could become a casualty of, quote, economic war. Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. dollar is the number one least sickest child in the world marketplace. As you know, people love the U.S. dollar. They trade in U.S. dollars or oil, etc., etc. So, but it's starting to become less respected, according to one report, and that's going to have major implications for world trade. As you know, people are trying to get out of this paper fiat system and get into real assets, whether that's land, oil, physical assets like houses and commercial real estate, bonds, treasury bonds. People are trying to get out of this paper stuff because they know that eventually all fiat currencies go to zero. Whether that's 50 years from now, we're not here. 100 years from now, we're no longer here. Or, whether that's tomorrow. I mean, eventually, this stuff by decree is going to zero. Whether it's the U.S. dollar, sterling pound, Japanese yen, etc., you get the point. So that's what's going on right now. What's backing the U.S. dollar now, the two things that's backing it, obviously, is that we're the world reserve currency, and that number two, the U.S. military backs the U.S. dollar in all conflicts. And that's what it's about, whether it's oil or land or gas, natural resources or physical resources. That's what's holding this piece of paper up right now, the U.S. dollar. So, if we find ourselves either stretched too thin in different little conflicts, war conflicts and all that, etc., or if the U.S. dollar is printed to infinity, that means that hyperinflation, it becomes just paper, just like in Weimar Germany or Zimbabwe or Venezuela or Greece or Turkey or Sri Lanka, Colombo, all those countries that failed based on printing up too much of this paper stuff right here. So this is what's going to happen here, and eventually it's going to happen because all currencies go to zero. Now, BOE's man, she warns that world fragmentation means more inflation shocks. Well, tell us something that we don't know. In this paper world, this Ponzi scheme that we have going on, we're going to have inflation in Europe, inflation in America, inflation in, India, Italy, Germany. All these countries are going to be trying to hyperinflate this debt away. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you can't hyperinflate something away that is massive like this. You just got to reset, and this is what they plan on doing. Is the powers that be are going to reset the economy to a digital thing because it's easier to control a digital currency, a CBDC as some people would call it, or even some kind of chip that's programmable, that only gives money for certain activities, a form of universal basic income, is what we're heading towards, and actually, economy that's more based on automation and AI versus physical labor that we've had in the past to get manufacturing and things of those natures. So that's what's going on in the labor market as well. That's something strange to be talked about in this article, but it's not. It's only talking about the jobless claims, but they're not telling you where the jobs are going towards AI and automation and all of that, and they're not telling you what's going to be replacing the type of jobs that we're losing here, especially in the manufacturing sector, shipping, transportation, logistics, all of these things need to be talked about even more in detail. So let me know what you think. Do you think we're moving towards a more AI automatic economy here, automation economy, technocratic, that's moving away from human labor in all its forms, whether that's from white collar, blue collar, trades, government, automotive? Let me know what you think in the comments about that, and how are you preparing to trade your US dollars and for real physical assets? Where can you run to? Like I said, cryptos, all of that's being inflated, hyperinflated. It's Ponzi. So where are we running to? Are we going to gold, silver, cryptos routes, or are we going to physical hard assets like land, oil, water, natural gases, resource, international assets maybe in some of these developing countries outside of the BRICS? Where are you putting your trust in or your money in? If you have any extra money, where are you investing into in this kind of volatile economy where everything is not what it appears to be and everything is overvalued to an extent? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode. Happy Friday, and enjoy your weekend here in this times that we live in. Thank you very much.